Hallihallo, ich bin's mal wieder der Zocko. Heute spielen wir ein Spiel Stanley Parable. Ich wollte euch zwar auch das Hauptmenü zeigen, aber irgendwie kackt das Spiel ab, wenn man es beim Ladebildschirm aufnimmt. Und ja, es ist mein erstes Let's Play. Das Spiel hat gut Kritiken bekommen, hat mehrere Enden. Mal sehen, was wir daraus machen können. Wird bestimmt lustig. Oh, ich kann doch mit Controller spielen. Cool. Benutzt man was? Geiles Büro und so. Gehen wir mal raus.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh,
What
alle
could
weg.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Also er sagt, Stanley hat bestimmt irgendeine Notiz vergessen, weil alle seine Kollegen irgendwie auf einmal weg sind.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Haha, geil, er hat genau darauf reagiert, wo ich lang gegangen bin.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, jetzt gehe ich zum Büro von meinem Chef.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ah, der ist natürlich ganz weit oben. Alter. Geil. Fette Sache.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Jetzt wissen wir es natürlich, also den Keycode dazu, wer es gerade gesagt hat. 2845? What the fuck? Ach, mein Englisch.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his... Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well that... Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Also, wir haben jetzt zufällig den neuen Code, obwohl er uns der Erzähler es gerade gesagt hat. Und jetzt drücken wir mal auf den Knopf. Oh, Ladepause. Hoffentlich hängt sich diesmal nicht auf. Oh.
Descending deeper into the building,
Pervers.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nein, da gehe ich nicht rein. Ich gehe da, wo es Ausgang
Although
steht.
this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Wir werden unseren Tod dort sehen, hat er gesagt, weil wir da lang gelaufen sind.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Sollen wir wirklich zurückgehen? Ach komm, wir gehen zurück, ey. Es ist ja sonst, wenn er stirbt, dann muss ich eigentlich eher das wieder wiederholen. Das ist schon geil gemacht, ey. Der Erzähler reagiert auf alles, was du tust, so gut, ey. Guck, sowas zeigt mal, wie das Computerspiele gut Kunst sind. Ja. Stanley hat entschieden, hier lang zu gehen, weil er zu viel hat zum Leben oder sowas. Sorry für die manchmal falsche Übersetzung.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Kamera aktiviert. Tschüss.
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay, dann gehe ich mal weiter. Oh, Aufzugknopf, yay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible
Fuck.
to believe it couldn't be true.
It's
Had
like Big
Stanley
Brother.
really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Guck mal, einer von den Angestellten ist gefeuert, da hinten.
He
Das ist auch geil
refused to
gemacht.
believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Sieht cool aus. Was geht denn da oben ab? Gibt's einen Knopf? Der Nummer 4. Nichts passiert, schade. Gehen wir mal zu der offenen Tür. Sehr geradlinig, du weißt eigentlich meistens genau, was du machen sollst. Oh, Nummer 5. Gut. Was hin, also Mind Control heißt Gedankenkontrolle. Ist gerade
And
weg.
when at last he found the source of the
Wartet
room's
auf Input.
power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end.
Oh Mist, jetzt haben wir auf Off gedrückt. Mal sehen. Wollte noch was sagen. Alles schwarz.
And a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
War es zu Ende? Ja.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his
Ich hoffe,
the feeling
wir haben
of
leider die falsche Entscheidung gemacht.
the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Ah, happy. Super. Kannst du fast jederzeit das Spiel beenden, Alter. Guck. Hab schon Erfolg freigeschaltet. Zu geil.